Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest on the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to Apply. All right, so today is a special episode. We have Cliff Nonemacher on the line, and he is CEO over at Francity, and he's also a best-selling author. I don't know if this is his first time or second time or how many times, but we got him on the line. We're going to get into that. He just had a recently released book, and he's also a podcaster. So welcome to the show, Cliff.
Hey, thanks, Adam. I appreciate it. Happy to be here.
All right. First thing first, congrats on this bestseller. Give us the name, how people can order it. How are you feeling?
I'm super excited about it. You don't know how your book will be received. We have hit number one bestseller in our category, which would be franchising, entrepreneurship, business, those categories. We're number one bestseller, number one new release on Amazon, which is great because if you're buying a book, you're buying it on Amazon. We are on Barnes & Noble, but the book is called Beyond the Brand, and that's the theme of what we do as a consulting company at Francity. We go beyond the brand, and that's what we title the book, and the book is just loaded with value adds to franchisees or prospective franchisees. Either way, if you're already in business or want to be in business, the book adds a ton of value to that audience.
What sparked the book originally? Lots of different ways you can get content out there. Why a book? I know it's not easy. It's an undertaking. And so why a book? Why now?
You're right. Why a book and why now? Most industry, like any industry, they get very, very crowded. We believe we're the best in the business. I don't think you could be the best in the business if you don't have the resources and the tools for your clients. And I wanted to put, along with my business partner, Justin, right, we wanted to put our thoughts, our high degree of business acumen in writing, and we wanted to create a book. We always feel like everything is like, let's say, clickbait. They give you just enough, and it's like, subscribe, do this, jump through a hoop, leave your credit card. We wanted to write a book and give the person actionable, executable ideas right there on the spot, whether you hire us or not. It really kind of shows the client, you guys really opened up your Komodo and shared your value, your advice, your experience in business. And you just put it in the book, like how you retain talent, how you negotiate commercial leases, how you eliminate and avoid personal guarantee risk, how you fund these deals. You're like, we put it all in there. And the reviews, if you read the reviews on Amazon, it's like people will go out of their way and be like, this is not your traditional book built on cliches and, just kind of nonsense and, quotes. It's a book that you could execute off of. Right? It's a blueprint. It's a roadmap. There's a lot in there. And we're proud of it. And thankfully, the people who are leaving reviews, the people who bought the book are saying exactly what we wanted them to say. So it's being well received. And that is the reason why we did it. We did it to add value to our book. It's the same way with our podcast.
Yeah.
It's like, why'd you do the podcast? I didn't do it to monetize it. I didn't create it with my business partner, to say we're going to sell ad space. We're going to build a treasure trove of content. We built it for our clients.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that too, but I'm going to throw the other side of this for everybody listening. They know I'm a big fan of launching podcasts. There's also another side. It's okay to launch a podcast and want to make some money, or to launch a book and want to make some money. So I'm just throwing the other side out because I hear this argument a lot, and I know that's where your heart is, so I'm not saying you are wrong at all, Cliff. But for those out there that want to make some money doing a podcast, you can and you should. All right, continue, Cliff. I just had to throw that little excerpt in there. Because
to your point, completely, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I appreciate that. And I know who you are, and I know what you're building. And I didn't say it like it's a negative to monetize your life's work. I said it just to let the listeners know, like, who's the guest?
Yeah.
Why did he do these things? We are doing. Look, if I can monetize these things, my goodness. Yeah. I mean, I'm not throwing that money out of bed. It's like, come on, if I could do it, great. But my heart is in the right place, and I built it for the reasons of saying, I'm making money on my consulting practices. I want you to engage with us as a client. Why should I? And it's like, here are our resources. You will benefit greatly from us versus any other consulting firm out there. And the client instantly realizes that once they start listening to our guest appearances, they listen to our show, they read our book, they're like, I'm in the right spot. We call it commission breath. Our competitors have commission breath, and we don't. We want to do the right thing by the client.
For those that have been listening to the show for a long time, they know I'm a fan of franchising in general. I'm like, man, if I could have found Mission Matters in a box, you think I would have started this thing from scratch? Heck no, I would have bought it, and I would have been like, let's go, just do some shows and let's make it grow. But I just didn't. Maybe it existed, I didn't know. Maybe it could have, could not have. I don't know. But let's go into the model and really how you're helping people franchise, and especially throwing a little bit of what's going on with AI nowadays and how maybe this will hedge some of that risk, because that's a big topic everybody's thinking about. So get more into that for me, please.
That's right. Yeah, it's all part of the book, too, which is very topical. AI, quantum computing, disruption, job losses. Millions of jobs will be lost in the next probably several years plus, whether it's white collar, blue collar, repetition, they're gone. And yes, in the book, we focus on 5 industry themes. One of them we refer to as the feminization of men in America. And what it means is that men can no longer use tools. There's a war on men. Men have low T. Men have low sperm count. I mean, men's sperm count alone in the last 10 years has dropped 50%. Like, what does that have to do with franchising? There are franchises that are addressing these very issues, whether it be home services, whether it be testosterone therapy clinics, ED clinics. Franchising is backfilling a lot of social issues. The second theme is the aging of America that we call the silver tsunami. It's home care, it's mobility, it's building and installing ramps and grab bars, and all things, right? The silver tsunami. Everyone always thinks about the aging of America, and all they think about is home care. I don't want to care for the elderly. There is a ton of ways that you can get involved in the silver tsunami vertical without caring for an elderly person, but catering and selling and servicing that market. Third is the humanization of pets and animals. We're not repopulating as a nation. I just shared all the issues with men alone. There are equal issues with women. Both sides of the aisle and both genders are dealing with infertility. IVF is all the rage. So what do? We humanize pets and animals. $150 billion market cap in this country, whether you're grooming the dog, whether you're training the dog, whether you're boarding or daycaring the dog, it doesn't matter. It's a massive market. Next would be the pursuit of youth. The country is aging and people want to pursue youth, whether it be biohacking, anti-aging, Botox, again, testosterone therapy, hormone therapy for women as well, all these different things, IV drip bars, peptides, all this stuff is now offered by franchise concepts. It's crazy. What NACs, contrast therapy, red light therapy, cold plunging, it's all involved now in franchising. And then lastly would be what we would consider youth enrichment, right? In our opinion, as a firm, public schools have missed the mark and they could do better. These kids can't cook. They don't know home economics. They can't weld. They can't use tools. The shop, wood shop is dead. Metal shop is gone. The auto, all these things that we grew up on in the 70s and 80s have been eliminated from the school districts, even physical education in some areas of the country. So franchises are backfilling all those voids in youth enrichment and making a person a productive human being and a good member of society, right? Whether it be music, whether it be art, science, technology, engineering, math, those are the areas that we focus on. They're local, they're AI resilient. And when they're not, Adam, when you say, well, wait a minute, I could build an argument against some of those businesses, it's like, okay, you just built a strong argument against some of our themes. However, the franchisee is the disruptor, not the disrupted, right? So like home inspection is a perfect example. There will be a time where you don't need a man crawling through an attic or in a crawl space to do a home inspection in a real estate deal. Well, who's going to do it? A humanoid. A humanoid and a drone will be launched to inspect the roof. The humanoid will check out what's going on behind the walls with infrared eyeballs and do moisture readings, right? Look for mold, air quality assessments, check the HVAC system, check all the appliances. The franchisee in that example is now hiring humanoids to do the work. And this will continue into home care and a multitude of industries. So I feel like the franchisee will be the disruptor, not the disrupted.
So one of the things that I feel that a lot of people, when they hear the word franchise or something else, I think there's kind of like a little bit of a myth that that the franchisor or the person that's purchasing the franchisor, so the franchisee, is, that they have to be involved in the day-to-day operations, and they have to run that piece of it. Can you get into maybe some of the thought processes around people that want to maybe diversify a portfolio or otherwise, and maybe this is going to be one of their holdings, but it doesn't mean they necessarily are giving up their main job or their main thing, and this may be another way also just to diversify?
You're exactly right. It's a great question, and it's an accurate observation. People feel that if you're going to buy a franchise, one, I need direct industry experience. Not true.
Mm-hmm.
Two, well, if I don't need direct industry experience, I need to be there full time, 40 plus hours a week. Not true. So you're absolutely right. Not only do you not need direct industry experience, and I make a point to say this, you and I'm not a physician. Are you a physician? You're not a doctor.
I am not, no.
Okay.
Even though some
so
people call me Dr. Torres, but I'm not a doctor, no.
Listen,
I don't know why. I get all these nicknames. I don't know. Maybe they think I'm a know-it-all. I don't know. Go ahead.
So we'll call you Dr. Torres. It just means you have your doctorate. It doesn't mean you're a physician. So you're a doctor, but you're not a physician. So you and I are not physicians, but you and I can own an urgent care center.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you and I can we could own the urgent care center from the franchise. You and I will employ physicians that will interact with our patients. So you and I can't speak to patients, but you and I own the practice. That's the point I try and draw to exaggerate the point. You and I don't need to be a roofer. You and I will never groom dogs, but yet you and I can own an Aussie pet grooming franchise, right? We're not doing the day-to-day work. Said differently, you and I will work on the business. We will not work in the business, right? Employees work in the business. Owners, managers work on it, and that's what you and I are going to do. There's a whole book written on that called The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. Great book, because people fall victim to that. They buy a business and say, I'm an entrepreneur, when in fact, no, you're not. You're really just an employee within your own entity, because you're making sandwiches, you're grooming dogs, you're cutting people's hair. That's an employee. That's not a business owner. So franchising as a methodology does not want the franchisees doing the day-to-day. They want them working on it, not in it. So yeah, you nailed it. We have a ton of people who come to us and say, I like my job. I want to keep my job. I would be crazy to leave this job. I get paid well and I'm really good at it. But inflation has hurt my household. My spouse would like to stop working, be more present with the kids in the household. I'd like to get a little side gig going. I deal with it every day, all day. People that would like to make an investment that have bandwidth. You still need some bandwidth in your schedule, right? You can't just leave it to chance and leave it to your manager. I tell people, don't do this if you don't have, let's say, 15 hours a week minimum of bandwidth in your schedule during working hours. Because people go, oh, I have 15 hours a week. I don't mean after 6 p.m. Eastern and weekends. I'm talking about during the day that you can engage with your staff and have your coaching moments and check in with people and be involved. And then they're like, oh, I can't do that. So if you have those 15 minimum, I'm saying minimum hours during the week, then yes, this is a reality. Franchising is a brilliant methodology to create wealth and to create, ancillary income stream.
Yeah, great. I love it. I'm a big fan. I think it's great, and I think that many people it's definitely right for, and they should explore that concept because, like I said, if I could have gone back in time, and if I could have, I didn't even realize it was an option, to be honest. When I started going into until I started doing interviews, and I was like, I talked to all these people that were in that business, and I'm like, dang. And that E-Myth book, I love that book because I'm like, if you think about it, for those that have read the book, for those that haven't, I agree, go read it. But there's an argument to be made that because we're not physicians, we're better off to be running that business or to be a part of that business because we're looking at it from a whole different area. And I tend to think that the reason why we've had some success with Mission Matters is because I don't come from a media background. I came from finance. So when I started this business with the other co-founder, I was looking at cost per piece of content produced. I wasn't looking at the creative side of it, which is probably completely counterintuitive to how somebody would start a media business if they were of that industry. They'd be thinking about story and narrative. I was thinking about, man, how do we build a factory? Two completely different things.
Yeah.
So I love it. I love the thought process. I'm a fan of franchising. One more time, I want you to go through maybe some of the niches or the high level, like the niches that you focus on, if there's a niche, one versus another.
Yeah, niches. I mean, I did share the trends with, you wanted to refer to like, pet care as a niche. But I mean, if you look at, it's an interesting comment that you made or a word that you use, because one of our favorite lines in this industry is that the riches are in the niches.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So which is true. And we like to say that because people go, well, what do you mean? Well, you called me up wanting a Chick-fil-A, which is I'm not saying it's not a good opportunity. The reason I use Chick-fil-A as an example of like the best brand is you can't own it. Most people don't realize that. You will never own a Chick-fil-A. They're all corporately owned.
Yep.
You will operate it. You will make a great living doing it, but you will never own it. You will never participate in an exit and so on. So like everyone starts there and they're like, oh, I can't own one. I thought I could own it. No, you're an employee of it. You're an operator of it. And that's it. So they're like, well, what else is out there? You think about like a drywall repair business that we have that does small drywall repair, something that no one would think about. Average revenue, 1.3 million. You look at like a closet organization franchise that we represent. Average revenue is 9 million. You look at like a junk removal business with average revenue of 1.5 million. You look at a brand that helps realtors sell homes faster and at a premium, helps people transition, average revenue over 2 million. These are businesses that no one's thinking about. Everyone says the same thing. They go to the Franchise 500 and they read off a list of food. We really don't do much food because we think it's negatively symmetrical. And I like asymmetrical, right? I like low investment, high margin, fast break even, right? No ARs, no inventory, highly scalable. I don't want to be in a business that's going to cost me $1 million to open and I'm making an 8% net to the bottom line. Why would I want to do that? So I'm not a huge fan of food. I think food, I just don't think there's enough money in food right now. I don't like the investment level and I don't like the return. And that will change because AI is going to change it, and humanoids and robotics will change the food space by eliminating $20, $22 an hour employees that are making coffee. That's all going to end. That's where food is headed. Food will not recover from COVID's inflationary environment if it doesn't eliminate the human factor. This is the reality. Well, so when you talk about niches, like I gave you some example, we have an assisted living brand and everyone would say, oh, I don't have that kind of money to open up, that's like a hotel. And I'm like, no, assisted living is in franchising is done residentially. You grab a home, 3,000 square feet, right? Single story, a ranch. You're going to convert it to assisted living, put 5 to 8 residents in there, right? You only have a few employees, an RN. You're outsourcing the chef that comes 3 times a day and so on. I mean, great business model. Like little niche businesses like that no one is thinking about that are highly profitable, highly scalable, recession resilient, have weathered the housing crisis, have proven to weather recessions and COVID and come out the other side clean. That's what we focus on with our client, not the shiny new penny.
Cliff, this has been great having you on, man. That being said, I know you got a lot more to offer and to give. How do people follow up? How do they get a copy of your book? How do they learn more about Franosity?
Beyond the Brand is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, all those. Most people get it on Amazon, so it's called Beyond the Brand. You could grab it there. We're running a promo right now for Kindle. I think it's like $1 if they wanted to download a Kindle version of the book. Next would be our podcast, which is just interviewing founders of franchise concepts. It's called Pursuit of Profit. And then lastly would be reaching out to me directly at Franosity.com. That's FRANOCITY.com. and just fill out a short form. And they would be working with me and working with my business partner, Justin, directly. We don't pass them on.
Awesome. And for everybody listening, just so you know, we'll definitely put some links in the show notes so you can just click on the links and head right on over. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters and you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe or follow button. This is a daily show. Each and every day, we're bringing you new content and new ideas and hopefully new inspiration to help you along the way in your journey as well. So again, hit that subscribe or follow button. And Cliff, man, thanks again for coming on.
Thank you, Adam.